WDEV News presents the regular monthly meeting of the Fentress County Commission. The Fentress County Commission meets the third Monday of each month, and you can see it live on Channel 12 cable TV. It's a presentation of the Union Bank of Jamestown and Clark Range, your reliable banking partner since 1904.
After World War I, Sergeant Alvin York was the most famous man in America. He could have lived anywhere, traveled the world. But he had a more meaningful vision in mind. He came home to create opportunities through education and to help build a bold future for Fentress County. This is a community where a strong sense of place means dedication to success, where an entrepreneurial spirit leads to fresh ideas, and where a proud work ethic drives global growth. Here, industry apprenticeships turn skills into deep expertise. Global suppliers rely on precise engineering and well-trained personnel for national transportation needs, for new technologies, and a passion for quality. With a solid infrastructure, we stand ready for new opportunities. This is an ideal place to live and work, a place where breathtaking beauty calls. People from all over the world have discovered what makes this place unique. They've stayed to be a part of it all. Alvin York looked at this land and saw the future. Like Sergeant York, we share a common dream. A place where vision becomes reality, where ideas take flight, where a work of craftsmanship becomes a masterpiece. Now is your time to be in Fentress County, Tennessee.
For more than a century, Union Bank has been serving the people of Fentress County. Now, as we begin a new chapter in our history of service, we want to take this opportunity to reassure you that while our building may be new, we're still the same friendly people you have known for years. Union Bank, the same people, the same goals, and the same commitment to you. Union Bank, your locally owned hometown bank for more than a century, growing to meet your needs. Equal Housing Lender Member FDIC.
This Fentress County Board of Commission is called to order. Normally at this time, I'd say people please rise for the presentation of colors, but the Clark Range Color Guard is out of town. But please rise for the pledge to the flag led by Commissioner Benny Hughes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we'll have opening prayer by Dora Nance, Tenchtown Community Church.
Lord, we do thank you, God, for this day. We thank you for your goodness and your mercy. We thank you, Lord, certainly, God, that you're still faithful. Lord, we can depend upon you. We thank you for our leaders, the Lord, certainly, God. The scriptures teach us that we're to pray for those that are in authority, and I pray, God, you'd help them. Again, the Lord, certainly, God, Proverbs said that in all of our ways to acknowledge you and you'll direct our paths, and I pray, God, you'd help them to acknowledge you. And again, we're a needy people, we're a needy nation, a needy county, dear Lord, needy individuals, but God, we ask the Lord you to help, give direction, wisdom, knowledge, and guidance, Lord. And help us to be careful you to the praise for these things. We ask in the precious name of Jesus.
Amen. May be seated. We'll have a roll call by Marilyn Stevens, our County Court Clerk.
Jimmy Johnson.
Here. Here.
J.P. Reagan.
Here.
Tom Davison.
Here.
Richard Hughes.
Here.
Donald Williams.
Here.
Lester Gay.
Here.
Jeff Green.
Here.
Larry Cooper.
Here.
Wade Matthews.
Here.
All present.
We have a quorum. Next, we'll have the approval of notaries. And I have Jerry Lee Rogers Belinda Cook, Stephanie D. Taylor, and Nikita Stevens. Do I have a motion concerning this?
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Barring discussion, roll call vote, please.
Jimmy,
Four.
Justin,
Four.
Pete,
Four.
Tim. Four. Benny,
Four.
Donald,
Four.
Lester,
Four.
Jeff,
Four.
Larry,
Four.
Wade,
Four.
10
For, none against, motion carries. Next on the agenda is approval of minutes from May the 15th, 2017. Has everybody had a chance to look over the minutes? Any additions, corrections?
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Anyone wish to speak to the motion? Roll call vote, please.
Eddie,
Four.
Justin,
Four.
J.P.,
Four.
Tim. Four. Benny,
Four.
Donald,
Four.
Lester,
Four.
Jeff,
Four.
Larry,
Four.
Wade,
Four.
10
Motion passes. Next on the agenda, we've got something that I think is the first time it's happened in Fentress County. Jackie Selby, our solid waste director, has obtained certification of, as a public administrator through CTASC and the University of Tennessee. And in doing so, Jackie has, and I'm not going to list them off, Jackie, too long to go over, 58 different classes that he has attended to get this. He's done it on his own time, his own money. He did it to just for professionalism, to improve at his craft, and he does a great job. But Jackie, I'd like to have you up here, please. I've got something for you. If you'd come forward. This is from the County Technical Service, Assistant Service, University of Tennessee Institute for Public Service, to the County Technical Assistant Service, and in cooperation with the County Officials Association of Tennessee, hereby confers on Jackie L. Selby the designation of Certified Public Administrator, and I think that's the first one we've ever had in Fentress County. I want to congratulate Jack on a great job, the ultimate in professionals, and a great asset to Fentress County. Probably should have stayed down there. The next on the agenda is a proclamation recognizing our 4-H senior livestock judging team for their state championship. John, congratulations, great job. We've got McKinley Waters, Macy Waters, and Rachel Bennett. We'd like to bring them up. John, come up, and families as well. Jeff, you want to read this?
Looks like a lot of reading to me.
Jeff does a 4th grade education. Maybe you can be on.
All right, proclamation. In the Board of Commission for Fentress County, Tennessee, whereas on June 6, 2017 in Knoxville, Tennessee, at the State 4-H Livestock Judging Contest, validation for hard work came in the form of state championship for the Fentress County Senior 4-H Livestock Judging Team. Whereas at the State 4-H contest, there were 4 teams from each region in the state. The Fentress County team had the 1st McKinley Waters, 5th Macy Waters, and 20th Rachel Bennett high individuals in the state competition. Whereas this accomplishment has only been achieved twice in Fentress County history, once by a team in 1964, and now by our 2017 Senior 4-H team. Whereas the Senior 4-H team will participate in the National Championship at the North American International Livestock Competition in Louisville, Kentucky in November of 2017.
Get in there, Jeff. You ready? You ready, Jeff? Get in there. You ready, right? You get in there. You read that much, you always get
Where'd I get your shirt stand in?
Next on our agenda is consideration of appointment of a Senior Citizens Center Joint Committee to explore the possibility of future expansion of the center. And I think that the Senior Center Advisory Committee has met, and they've asked Jim Romer to chair that committee. And they've also asked that Gary Peters, Debbie Williams, and Randy Gurman serve on that. They've requested 2 commissioners, and I'd like to present Jimmy Johnson and Donald Williams for that, and we need a vote of confirmation for the entire committee.
So moved.
I have a motion, I have a second.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Roll call vote.
Jimmy,
Pass.
Justin,
Four.
JP,
4.
Kim,
4.
Benny,
4.
Ronald,
Pass.
Sylvester,
4.
Jeff,
4.
Larry,
4.
Wade.
4.
Okay, motion passes. Number 11, consideration of a resolution 2017-17 in regards to the Fentress County Public Records policy for Fentress County. And as we do that, we'll also consider the consideration of Fentress County Public Records policy for Fentress County Highway Department. Leslie, do you want to talk about that, please?
Just real briefly, the state said that if we don't have this new policy in place by July 1 with a public records coordinator for the county, and this will go to all county offices, including the administrative offices of solid waste and the senior center, sort of things that are administered through the county. It does exclude the highway department, which in some manner is a separate entity. Although it is a county office, it has its own system and requires its own policy, which I think you'll see before you. And then, of course, the Board of Education would be one of the 3 that has their own, much like they have their own financing and payroll, that sort of thing. They have their own public records policy. You have no choice but to adopt one. The model that they provided, and I think the quote says, is one that's designed to effectively get people the records within the 7 days or deny them within the 7 days based on what the Tennessee law says. Ours is pretty standard right now, but it does not have some of the provisions that this model one sets out. We have the same pricing, 15 cents per page for letter and legal, black and white, 50 cents per page for anything that's copied in color. The inspection, of course, is free, but it also sets forth some forms which are much more standard than what we have now. And right now, all the county offices have their own forms, essentially, if they have one. This gives us some forms that the Office of Open Records Council in Nashville has designed to make it easier for the public, easier for the county, less work for everybody. But you all do need to assign somebody to be the public records coordinator, and you need to look at that policy and tell me if that's the one that you so choose to adopt.
And as I understand it, Leslie, you've volunteered to...
No. Did not volunteer.
Okay, take away the volunteer, that she has agreed reluctantly to serve in this capacity temporarily, and the key word is temporarily, meaning very, very short term,
90 days.
90 days until we fill that position. I'll entertain a motion to that effect.
So
So
moved.
With several so moves, do I have a second? And a second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Kenny,
Four.
Justin,
Four.
JP,
Four.
Kim. 4. Benny,
Four.
Donna,
Four.
Lester,
Four. Four.
Larry,
Four.
Wade. 10,
4.
4, none against.
10 for, none against. Motion passes. Number 13, consideration of proposals for the Fentress County's property, casualty, and workers' compensation insurance coverage. John, you want to step forward, please?
As we discussed in the work session, from a premium standpoint, the county general's premium decreased roughly 5 to 5.5%, or $16,000. Conversely, the highway department increased about 5%, which is roughly $3,500. That's due to some additional vehicles, some higher valued vehicles, and a small amount of additional mobile equipment. The carriers are the same as we've had in the past. Local government providing the package coverage, the property, the liability, the automobile, and key risk providing the workers' comp.
Any questions for
Any
John?
I move we accept.
I move to accept. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Anyone wish to speak to the motion? Barring discussion, roll call vote, please.
Jimmy,
Four.
Justin,
Four.
Benny,
Four.
Donna,
Four.
Lester,
Four.
Jeff,
Four.
Larry,
Four.
Wade,
4.
JP,
Four.
Kim.
4.
10, 4, none against.
10 for, none against, motion passes. Number 14, thank you, John.
Thank you all.
Consideration of the following proposals for the Fentress County Jail. Their bids for milk, bread, and other food items. Everybody had a chance to look over that? Larry, do you want to explain what those were? No? Conflict. Marcia? Yeah. Get closer to the microphone.
Okay, the milk bid, Borden's had the lower price. They had the lower price last year, but they were only making deliveries once a week, which required the sheriff to install another cooler. This year, they also have the school bid, so they're gonna be making deliveries more often, so they don't have to get the cooler, so they will be going, or the recommendation is to go with Borden's on the milk. On the bread, the best price is Flowers, which is who they've been with this past year, so that's their recommendation. And on all of the other items, we've got prices from IWC and Cisco, and what they have done in the past and would like to continue to do is whatever the particular item they are purchasing, whichever one of those companies has the lower price is who they would like to go with on that item.
Any discussion? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Jimmy,
Four.
Justin,
Four.
JP,
Four.
Kim,
4.
Benny,
Four.
Donna,
Four.
Larry,
Pass.
Wade,
4.
Lester,
4.
Jeff,
4.
9-4, 1 pass, motion passes. Next is a consideration for the proposal of the construction of the Fentress County Emergency Shelter at the Pall Mall Fire Hall. Ms. Amanda Maynard?
Hello. If you remember last year, we received a community development block grant to build this shelter in the amount of $315,000, and then we had matching funds to put with that of $33,000. So You know, we opened bids this morning. We received one bid from T&J Builders out of Cookville. I've worked with them on previous projects, so they are recommended. This was our one bid in the amount of $500,000. But we need to pass a resolution in order to approve them as that bid.
Okay, any questions of Amanda?
I make a motion to accept.
Got a motion to accept, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Again.
Wade,
Against.
Benny,
Four.
Donald,
Four.
Lester,
Four.
Jeff,
Against.
Jimmy,
Four.
Justin,
Four.
JP,
Four.
Kim,
4.
7, 4, 3 against.
7-4, 3 against, motion passes. Jeff?
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to explain why I voted against it. Not to knock the people of the second district out of anything, but there's some language in the bid that I feel very uncomfortable with, as far as the adjustment items.
Yes, and as I was explaining earlier in our workshop, what we're going to do, the state has recommended that the engineer and I come up with those prices together, and the engineer has actually bid projects recently that had those items listed. So we'll be taking those quantities and putting it in the form of a change order to include in the contract.
So will you bring the change order back to the commission again?
That's not normally what we do.
If it
That's
stays
not
under the bid
protocol.
amount, then
That's
you don't have
correct.
to. If
That's
it goes
it.
over, if we have to pay additional money, then you'll probably bring it back.
Yes, that is correct. But, you know, at this point in time, our bid is $249,500. So that's,
Well,
yes.
like Jeff said, I don't want to hold them up, but, you know, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 right here that
Yeah.
could be possible.
And those, I mean, those,
cost.
you never know what you're gonna get into, but those are just in case items.
Question, Amanda, is that's standard procedure?
Very standard,
in
very,
every
very, very
bid to
standard,
have that
yes, yes,
adjustable
yes. That's the standard bid documents that
Okay,
ECD
that they
uses.
use for all,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
How comfortable, Amanda, do they feel that it won't go over this?
I am comfortable. You never know, unforeseen, you know, ground or anything like that, you know, items can change, but that's not something that typically happens.
Now, you have, you worked with this
I have,
particular group
yes.
3 other times, and
Yes, yes.
what would be your evaluation?
On those projects, we've never had anything that's come over, you know, buildings and ground are different in all communities, but we haven't had an item that comes up, you know, they're not somebody that nickels and dimes you to death, like, you know, can happen with some contractors.
Any other questions or comments?
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Down on number 17, consideration of surplus property for the Fentress County Sheriff's Department. And I think we got one item there.
Looks like they're requesting to move a 2002 International truck over to the Highway Department, is that correct? Is that what that is?
We're good. We don't mind, you know, transferring the truck to him, because we're here to help the whole county. We felt like that would probably save the county money, keep him from having to go out and buy another truck. And so we're not opposed to that. We would transfer to him if you all see fit to do that.
I move to approve the transfer.
Okay, well, motion approved, do I have a second?
need, right? Second.
It's something that we're not using currently. It's something we would have sold and used the money, of course, to buy the equipment, but, you know, whether we buy equipment or we give it to him, it's all gonna be in the same county money, so it doesn't matter. We're just here to help out and cooperate with all the plans.
So there's no loose ends tied to the piece?
No.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion or questions? If not, roll call vote, please.
Jimmy,
4.
Justin.
4.
JP.
4.
Kim.
4.
Benny.
4.
Donald.
4.
Lester.
4.
Jeff.
4.
Larry.
4.
Wade.
4.
10 for, none against.
10 for, none against, motion passes. Next is consideration of a resolution 2017-15 requesting to the state of Tennessee to install a runoff ramp on Highway 127 North. And before we get into that, I would like to say that it's been about a year and a half ago, I asked for a safety study on that particular part of the road. And I've been told by TDOT that that study has been completed. They have not released it, I think for obvious reasons, that it is still in-house for in-house review. But we've had a number of serious accidents down there. Something needs to be done, and that's one of the things that we're requesting at this point in time. Anybody have any input on that or discussion?
Mike, the way we wrote this up, because in doing a little bit of research, there may not be the availability of land space for a runoff. What we put here is to do the study, essentially, if it's done, let us know what it says, and then to provide whatever measures are necessary for less chance of derailment and fewer devastating accidents. So we've not limited to I know you said a road runoff ramp, but that may
But
not
also
be
straightening
feasible.
curves or whatever is,
Whatever necessary.
whatever to ensure the safety of the people on 127.
Can we request a speed limit drop for big trucks over the mountain?
I think if their safety study warranted that, then this would cover any of those findings from their safety study, whether it's a decreased speed or, you see what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily, if their safety study says it needs to be 20, then we ask them to make it 20.
In other words, what
Whatever
we're
you find
asking
fit,
for,
fix it.
what we're asking for is fairly comprehensive.
Yes.
We can ask the state to set it, but we can't make them set
That's
it.
correct.
I'll entertain a motion to this.
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second it.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Jimmy.
4.
Justin.
4.
JP.
4.
4.
Benny.
4.
Donald.
4.
Lester.
4.
Jeff.
4.
Larry.
4.
Wade.
4.
10 for, none against. The remaining items on our agenda tonight are budgetary items. Marcia, do you want to talk about those?
First one is for the highway department, and I did check these line items before I checked them this morning, and none of them are over by very large amounts, but they apparently do expect some additional expenditure, so they're just moving from one budget into another one.
Okay,
Anyway,
that's
sorry, somebody
all
was
right
saying
for the
something
highway
to me.
department. Do I have a motion for the highway department?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Jimmy.
4.
Justin.
4.
JP.
4.
Kim.
4.
Jeff.
4.
Lester.
4.
Donald.
4.
Benny.
4.
Larry.
4.
Wade.
4.
10 for, none against.
Motion passes. Next.
Second one is for the library. This is money to go into their summer reading program. Got a $20 donation from Robert Holt and a $1,500 Dollar General Literacy Foundation grant.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to accept the library's.
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Roll call vote.
Jimmy.
4.
Justin.
4.
JP.
4.
Kim.
4.
Benny.
4.
Donald.
4.
Lester.
4.
Jeff.
4.
Larry.
4.
Wade.
4.
10 for, none against.
10 for, none against. I think the next one is the jail.
Jail, they've gotten a refund from General Mills. They just want to put this money back into their food line item.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept that one?
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Anyone want to speak to the motion? Roll call vote.
Jimmy,
Four.
Justin,
Four.
JP,
Four.
Kim,
4.
Benny,
Four.
Donald,
Four.
Lester,
Four.
Jeff,
Four.
Larry,
Four.
Wade,
Four.
Tim Farmer.
10 for, none against, motion passes. Next, senior center.
This is, these are fees collected in April and May to put into the senior budget.
Okay, I have a motion for the senior citizens budget amendment.
So moved.
Got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Roll call vote.
Jimmy,
Four.
Justin,
Four.
JP,
Four.
Kim,
4.
Benny,
Four.
Donald,
Four.
Lester,
Four.
Jeff,
Four.
Larry,
Four.
Wade,
Four.
Tim Farmer.
10 for, none against, motion passes. Next, county buildings.
Okay, this one's kind of a two-parter. In April, I had asked the commission to put $27,000 of grant money into county buildings to apply to the wall project. And it was a misunderstanding on my part. Only $10,000 of that was to go on what is being done currently. The rest of it is to be used on seating and so forth. So I just asked that we take the $17,000 back out and put it back into fund balance. I think that part will be spent next year, or next fiscal year. And then Part B here, we had $10,000 left over from money that was set up for for the communication tower, and then $20,000 left over from the money that was set up to pay for the pump station. So I'd like to move those amounts into county buildings to finish paying for everything that has been bid out so far on the wall.
Do I have any questions of Marcia on that? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Jimmy,
Four.
Justin,
Four.
JP,
Four.
Kim,
4.
Benny,
Four.
Donald,
Four.
Lester,
Four.
Jeff,
Four.
Larry,
Four.
Wade,
Four.
Tim
10
Farmer.
for, none against, motion passes. Any other business come before this commission?
Got one more?
One more.
One more.
One more, okay, never mind, back up. I don't have that one.
This is the health department.
Health Department, all right.
Tobacco settlement grant. They received an additional $8,710 here recently, so I'd like to put this in that budget for them to spend.
Okay, do I have a motion for the Health Department's budget amendment?
So moved.
I have a motion and a second.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Roll call vote.
Jimmy,
Four.
Justin,
Four.
JP,
Four.
Kim,
4.
Benny,
Four.
Donald,
Four.
Lester,
Four.
Jeff,
Four.
Larry,
Four.
Wade,
Four.
In
Tim Farmer.
for, none against. Jeff?
I had a question for Marcia. Hey, on the Woodlawn pump station, has that been paid in full now?
Yes.
And it was 200 and, around 250 or?
I think the check I wrote this year was 268, and then last year, I think, I'd have to look it up, but I'm thinking 13,000 and some odd dollars, so the two of those together.
Well, those aren't reoccurring expenses that we'll be looking at in the future.
No,
Right.
those are off, those are gone. Any other comments from the commissioners? Reminder that tonight we will not adjourn, we'll be recessing for reconvening meeting June the 29th at 6 p.m., work session at 5 p.m. to basically close out books for the year.
Close your recess.
What about the 22nd?
22nd, we will have a work session where we will be interviewing post-certified candidates for sheriff Public is welcome. However, that being said, we will not be taking any comments from the public or any statements. We hope that everybody here will very quietly, respectfully listen. The purpose of this work session is for these commissioners to question, interview, evaluate the qualifications and the resumes of those individuals who have been post-certified. And at this point in time, we plan to come back on Monday, July the 17th as part of our regular meeting, and that's when they'll be voting on the midterm sheriff appointment.
I'll second his motion to recess.
You second the motion to recess. All in favor say aye.
Did you want all of
For more than a century, Union Bank has been serving the people of Fentress County. Now, as we begin a new chapter in our history of service, we want to take this opportunity to reassure you that while our building may be new, we're still the same friendly people you have known for years. Union Bank, the same people, the same goals, and the same commitment to you. Union Bank, your locally owned hometown bank for more than a century, growing to meet your needs. Equal Housing Lender Member FDIC.
After World War I, Sergeant Alvin York was the most famous man in America. He could have lived anywhere, traveled the world. But he had a more meaningful vision in mind. He came home to create opportunities through education and to help build a bold future for Fentress County. This is a community where a strong sense of place means dedication to success, where an entrepreneurial spirit leads to fresh ideas, and where proud work ethic drives global growth. Here, industry apprenticeships turn skills into deep expertise. Global suppliers rely on precise engineering and well-trained personnel for national transportation needs, for new technologies, and a passion for quality. With a solid infrastructure, we stand ready for new opportunities. This is an ideal place to live and work, a place where breathtaking beauty calls. People from all over the world have discovered what makes this place unique. They've stayed to be a part of it all. Alvin York looked at this land and saw the future. Like Sergeant York, we share a common dream. A place where vision becomes reality, where ideas take flight, where a work of craftsmanship becomes a masterpiece. Now is your time to be in Fentress County, Tennessee.